So still many participants are joining the session. So we'll be starting within next 1 or 2 minutes. Okay, so let's begin the session. So it was a really good day for the market in the start of the year 2025. So yesterday, it was a good session. We were up, I think, around yes 0.4% yesterday, but it was on a relatively lower volume. But today, I think there was some very, very good momentum. The volume was also very high. And on the single day, we reclaimed the 200 DMA, 50 DMA, as well as the 20-day moving average. So all the key moving averages we reclaimed on the same day. And the best part is that we closed near the day's high. Okay. And as the gain was more than 1.5% on Nifty and volume was higher than previous session, we have changed the market status to a confirm uptrend. तो आज हमने market status change किया है confirm uptrend में. ठीक है. So we were in a rally attempt, but आज वो attempt successful लगा हमको and we got a follow through day FTD. Okay, so follow through day is 1.5% gain on Nifty on a volume higher than previous session. तो हमको वो देखने को मिला. So that's why we have changed the market status to a confirmed uptrend. Now, see, there are a lot of factors as we go into the today's rally or how will the market behave now. But before starting them all, before discussing the levels, a clear disclaimer that whatever we discuss today or the levels, the stocks, the index, do not consider it as an investment advice. Okay, this is just for the knowledge sharing purpose. Okay. सो पहले तो आई थिंक मोस्ट ऑफ यू सबके दिमाग में ये होगा कि भाई आज इतना अचानक तेजी क्यों हुआ. लाइक देन नथिंग हैपेंड. देयर वाज नो बिग अनाउंसमेंट बाय द गवर्नमेंट. देयर वाज नो सम बिग रिजल्ट्स कमिंग अप. सो हुआ क्या. ठीक है. सो देयर आर ब्लेंड ऑफ मेनी थिंग्स दैट वेर दैट हैज गिवन सम पॉजिटिव इंडिकेशंस. ओके. सबसे पहले इफ वी सी that the high frequency indicator, that is the GST collection. तो GST collection अच्छा रहा ये बार के लिए. द सेकेंड थिंग इज द बैंकिंग डेटा. जो भी बैंक्स के डेटा आना शुरू हुए हैं, लो एडवांसेस और deposits के both are positive. So overall banking sector growth is good. And last week even the RBI had came up with a positive report on the banking sector जो उनकी asset qualities के लिए banking sector का growth के लिए. So that report was also good. Okay. So first is the GST, second is the good banking sector. The third is the auto sector numbers. So they have been really good. If you look at the numbers of the Maruti and the other auto companies, even the Tata Motor was 1% growth in the number. Honda reported a record number. So जो भी ऑटो कंपनीज हैं उनके नंबर्स बहुत अच्छे आए दिसंबर के. एंड द गुड नंबर्स ऑफ ऑटो कंपनी इज ऑलवेज पॉजिटिव फॉर द इकोनॉमी एज अ होल. क्योंकि जब मार्केट इकोनॉमी थोड़ा वीक चल रहा होता है, लोगों के पास एक्सपेंडिचर करने के लिए पैसा नहीं होता, सो दैट इज नॉट द टाइम व्हेन यू विल सी अ रोबस्ट ऑटो सेक्टर. बट when you see a robust auto sector, you can always assume on the sideline that yes, the things are going pretty well in the economy, and you have the backing of the GST data, the banking sector data as well. Okay, so these are some of the key things that helped market. अभी एक और चीज है which may have pushed the market higher. That is the FII's net long position. अगर एफआईआई का नेट लॉन्ग पोजीशन देखे, यू माइट हैव बीन listening some here and there कि 13 to 14% ही है at the start of the January. And not only this time but we looked at last 4 5 years data. So मैं अभी देख रहा था last कुछ years के data को. So this is the lowest. I think generally at the start of the year FIIs have 50 to 70% of long position. ओके एंड 30 to 40% ऑफ शॉर्ट पोजीशन इतना होता है. जैसे लास्ट ईयर जब 24 स्टार्ट हुआ तब 70% लॉन्ग थे, उसके पहले 50% थे, 22 में 66%, 21 में 75% और 2020 में 55%. सो दीज वर द लॉन्ग पोजिशन एट द बिगिनिंग ऑफ द ईयर फॉर एफ आई एस. बट this time when 2025 started, the long position of FIs were just 13%. मतलब they are heavily short. मार्केट में उनके शॉर्ट्स बहुत है. तो वो जब कवर होंगे, वो अनवाइंडिंग होंगे, तो उसकी वजह से भी एक बाइंग आएगा और वहां पे भी हमको एक रैली देखने को मिलेगा. सो व्हाट वी अज्यूम दैट along with these all positive economic as well as sector specific indicators, there might be a chance that let's see today's data क्या आज का डेटा क्या आता है कि एफआईज ने क्या एक्शन लिया. बट द assumption is कि वो लोग भी अपने शॉर्ट्स काटेंगे and that can push the market higher if there are no negative news coming from here. Okay, so this was all about the today's action. And now, if you see, once we are in a confirm uptrend, we might see some good momentum from here, and we might test the higher levels. आज का closing भी काफी अच्छा है. Near the day's high, top quartile closing is something really good. Now, what you need to watch out for? The thing is very simple. जब भी ऐसा बड़ा एक्शन आता है ना, follow through day वाला एक्शन, तो उस दिन का लो, so just mark the levels. तो उस दिन का लो सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट हो जाता है. दैट इज द फर्स्ट लेवल. सो टुडे द लो वाज 759. ओके, सो ब्रॉडली यू कैन से 23,750. 23,750 नीचे की साइड में अभी एक बहुत स्ट्रॉन्ग सपोर्ट मान सकते हैं. उसके नीचे अगर हम वापस चले जाते हैं देन दैट माइट बी नेगेटिव. ऑन द फ्लिप साइड, इफ वी व्हेन वी मूव अबाउट टुडेज हाई, एक बार फिर से 24,200 250 के ऊपर कल निकल जाता है, देन वी माइट सी सम कंटिन्यूएशन इन द रैली. अभी 2 दिन बैक टू बैक रैली के बाद अगर 100 150 पॉइंट इधर उधर मूवमेंट आता है, मार्केट का साइडवेज जाता है, देन दैट इज नॉट अ प्रॉब्लम. ओके, ओवरऑल स्ट्रेंथ अच्छा रहेगा. आई थिंक जो ब्रॉडर मार्केट पार्टिसिपेशन है वो अच्छा रहेगा. ब्रॉडर मार्केट में एक मोमेंटम होल्ड रह सकता है एक सर्टन लेवल. बाकी 2 दिन रैली के बाद अगर निफ्टी में 200 100 200 पॉइंट इधर उधर होता है तो उसका टेंशन नहीं है. बट लुक्स लाइक वी माइट फर्दर रैली फ्रॉम हियर. बट इन एनी केस लाइक यू शुड ऑलवेज बी रेडी फॉर बोथ द थिंग. ओके, सो वी माइट सी सम कंटिन्यू मोमेंटम फ्रॉम हियर. अभी ये हो सकता है कि चलो एक नीचे से मोमेंटम बनना तो शुरू हुआ, लेकिन कब तक टिकेगा. सो आई थिंक फर्स्ट लेवल ऑफ रेजिस्टेंस विल बी समवेयर अराउंड हियर 24,800. वहां पे एक रेजिस्टेंस मिल सकता है, क्योंकि लास्ट टाइम भी ऐसा हुआ था. इफ यू सी इन नवंबर, on 22nd November there was a very strong action in the market. We had few good sessions after that. Okay, almost 2 weeks went well after that. बट अगेन ये 850 के अराउंड रेजिस्टेंस मिला. वहां से मार्केट ने बहुत ट्राई किया, अटेम्प्ट किया निकलने का, ठीक है, बट इट फेल्ड. एंड उसके बाद हमने देखा कि ग्रेजुअली हम लोग नीचे गए. बट द गुड पार्ट वॉज दैट ये 263 ब्रीच नहीं हुआ. दैट वॉज द पॉजिटिव पार्ट इन द मार्केट. ओके, नाउ थिंग इज व्हाट कैन स्पॉइल द पार्टी. अभी जो ये 2025 का हैप्पी स्टार्ट हुआ है, एक पार्टी स्टार्ट हुई है, तो उसको स्पॉइल कौन कर सकता है. तो फर्स्ट नेगेटिव थिंग दैट यू नो फ्लैशेस ऑन माय स्क्रीन इज द डॉलर इंडेक्स एंड द रूपी डेप्रिशिएटिंग. आज भी अगर रूपी देखो तो 85.75 के अराउंड बंद हुआ है. सो दैट इज अ रिकॉर्ड लो आई थिंक फॉर रूपी. एंड डॉलर इंडेक्स अभी भी 108 के ऊपर है. अगर इतना स्ट्रॉन्ग रहेगा डॉलर इंडेक्स और रुपी में इतना डेप्रिसिएशन देखने को मिलेगा यहाँ से भी, देन आई डोंट थिंक द पार्टी विल बी बिग. वहाँ से रेजिस्टेंस मिल सकता है. ये हायर लेवल पे शायद एफआईआई का एंट्री इतना एग्रेसिवली ना भी हो. दैट के माइट ऑल्सो बी द केस. सो दैट इज वन थिंग, द ग्लोबल करेंसी, द डॉलर इंडेक्स एंड ऑल. द सेकेंड थिंग इज Trump will be in the White House from January 20. एंड अगर टैरिफ को लेके थोड़ा मामला ज़्यादा ही बिगड़ता है, then we might see that the specific जहाँ पे भी impact आता है that might drag the market lower. और वो tariff किस तरह का लगाता है, how will the global growth be estimated, because currently we are estimating a decent global growth, 3% GDP growth होगा globally. Okay, and India somewhere around 7, 6.678, sorry 6.7 और 6.8 और 7, वो रेंज में हम लोग ग्रो करेंगे. बट after the tariff war, will it impact the growth or will it be a temporary knee-jerk reaction and the overall growth impact नहीं होगा. तो यहाँ पे देखना होगा. The third thing which is important is the result season. So Q2 का रिजल्ट सीजन इतना अच्छा नहीं रहा था. ठीक है, कुछ सेक्टर को निकाल दो, अगर आप फार्मा को निकाल दो, कुछ आईटी नेम्स को निकाल दो, तो ब्रॉडली इट वाज नॉट अ गुड क्वार्टर. ठीक है, ईपीएस ग्रोथ सिंगल डिजिट में हमको देखने को मिल रहा था, लोअर सिंगल डिजिट में, विच इज नॉट आइडियल सिनेरियो फॉर द व्हेन द मार्केट इज एट अ हायर वैल्यू. राइट, so this time also the expectations are not very good. एक फ्लैट टू एक सिंगल डिजिट ग्रोथ का ही एक्सपेक्टेशन है ये क्वार्टर में भी. यहाँ पे एक सिल्वर लाइनिंग भी है कि अगर रिजल्ट्स अच्छे हैं, थोड़े से भी एक्सपेक्टेशन से मीट किया, एक्सपेक्टेशन को इवन माइनर बीट किया, then we might see a very good momentum. क्योंकि लास्ट टाइम जब रिजल्ट आ रहे थे, इफ यू कैन सी, maybe it starts from the October. Okay, so while the result season started, we were around 25-26,000 के बीच में हम निफ्टी था. अभी निफ्टी 24,200 पे है रिजल्ट सीजन स्टार्ट होने से पहले. सो दैट इज द डिफरेंस, लाइक वी आर ऑलरेडी 5-7% डाउन फ्रॉम वेयर वी स्टार्टेड द लास्ट सीजन, और उसके बाद एक करेक्शन भी आ गया. So if some positive signs from the result, or even the comments that okay, the recovery has started maybe, in the late November or in the December, and the Q1, or you can say the Q4 will be good. So then there might be some positive momentum again building up in the market. So these are the two sides that you need to analyze. Now broadly, if you look at the market, follow the levels as of now. Okay, don't try to predict the news, results, or what will the US president do, how will India react, what will China do. That's a different thing. You should, once you know all those things, the macro indicators, the macro micro indicators, now the focus should be on the levels. मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट आज का लो 23,750 राउंड, उसको ब्रीच नहीं करना है. एंड ऑन द फ्लिप साइड, टुमारो वी वांट टू क्रॉस today's high as early as possible in tomorrow's session and move towards the 24,800. और फिर वो 24,850 के ऊपर जब हम ट्रेड करेंगे, we might see some good rally from there. Right, so this was all about Nifty. Now, if you look at few indexes, it's Nifty Bank 200 DMA पे एक अच्छा सपोर्ट लिया उसने कल के सेशन में, एंड आई थिंक इन टुडेज सेशन ऑल्सो इट डिड वेल. इट वाज अप more than 1%. Right, and if you look at the level, the 50 day EMA is somewhere around 51,800. तो आज उसको तो क्रॉस नहीं किया, वहीं पे अराउंड 670-80 पे रेजिस्टेंस लिया है. सो द इम्पोर्टेंट पार्ट विल फॉर द बैंक निफ्टी विल बी दैट इट रिक्लेम द 50 DMA एंड ऑल्सो द 21 DMA, और वहां से एक बार ऊपर मूव होता है, देन वी माइट सी सम गुड मोमेंटम कमिंग फ्रॉम द बैंक निफ्टी एज वेल. ओवरऑल अभी जिन जिन बैंक्स का डेटा आया है, द एडवांसेस एंड द डिपॉजिट्स का डेटा, दे हैव बीन पॉजिटिव. सो अभी कुछ नेगेटिव आया नहीं है बैंक में. इवन व्हाट आई टोल्ड, द आरबीआई रिपोर्ट ऑन द बैंकिंग सेक्टर वाज आल्सो broadly positive. Right, now if you look at Nifty Auto, so this was the sector of the day. So आज का जो कैंडल है वो अभी अपडेट नहीं हुआ है, that generally gets updated late in the evening, but the auto was the top sector today, almost 4% का रैली. ठीक है, सो इफ यू लुक एट द 200 DMA लेवल 24,142, तो अब बस वही रिक्लेम करना बाकी है. सो क्लोजिंग वाज अराउंड 24,000. ऑटो इंडेक्स का क्लोजिंग 24,000 पे था. सो इट रिक्लेम्ड इट्स 21 एंड 50 DMA, वो दोनों रिक्लेम कर लिया है, एंड कंफर्टेबली इट इज वेल 1.5% उसके ऊपर बन गया है. नाउ द मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट लेवल इज द 200 DMA. क्योंकि अगर लास्ट टाइम भी अगर आप देखें, इन नवंबर एंड दिसंबर ऑल्सो 200 DMA एक्टेड एज अ रेजिस्टेंस. पहले यहाँ पे सपोर्ट का काम किया था कुछ दिन के लिए, बट एक बार जब वो ब्रीच हो गया, देन द ब्लैक लाइन दैट इज द 200 DMA वाज एक्टिंग एज अ रेजिस्टेंस. सो वंस वी रिक्लेम दैट लेवल, आई थिंक आज का कैंडल देखो तो ऑलमोस्ट वहां तक पहुंच गया है. सो व्हाट इम्पोर्टेंट इन टुमारो सेशन इज यहाँ पे एक रिक्लेम करना, राइट. और ये अच्छा हेल्दी करेक्शन प्लस कंसोलिडेशन हुआ है ऑटो में. तो अगर ये रिक्लेम कर देता है देन वी माइट सी सम फर्दर मोमेंटम इन द ऑटो स्टॉक्स. एंड लुकिंग एट द डिसम्बर नंबर, they were very robust, I think, for most of the auto players. Now if you look at Nifty Pharma, so the top gainer of the recent time, so this index really held the market strong. बहुत सारे फार्मा के स्टॉक्स आई वाज लुकिंग एट टुडे, यू कैन आल्सो लुक एट द चार्ट, दे आर ट्रेडिंग वेरी क्लोज टू पिवट. सो अच्छे स्टॉक्स जो भी है फार्मा के, दे आर इधर फॉर्मिंग द बेस, इधर कंप्लीट कर लिया या तो फिर पिवट के पास है या तो ऑलरेडी उन्होंने ब्रेकआउट दे दिए. तो नॉट ओनली द इंडेक्स इज वेरी क्लोज टू ऑल टाइम हाई, एंड इवन द स्टॉक्स there have been some good momentum. If you look at ल्यूपिन, इप्का, डॉक्टर रेड्डी, सन फार्मा, बायोकॉन में मोमेंटम आना स्टार्ट हो गया. इवन द मिड कैप्स है जो फार्मा सेक्टर्स के, वहां पे भी एक अच्छा मोमेंटम देखने को मिला. इवन द हॉस्पिटल स्टॉक्स. ओके, सो हेल्थ केयर सेक्टर, हेल्थ केयर प्लस फार्मा एज अ होल इज डूइंग रियली वेल. सो the good orders from the US, the China plus one policy is now supporting. जो यूएस में प्राइस प्रेशर था वो कम हो गया, वहाँ इन्वेंटरी लेवल हाई थे यूएस में लास्ट ईयर, वो भी थोड़े रिड्यूस हो गए. सो वहाँ से एक डिमांड आनी स्टार्ट हो गई है. सो लॉट ऑफ पॉजिटिव फैक्टर्स, लॉट ऑफ टेलविंड्स फॉर द फार्मा सेक्टर, and that might continue to do well. Okay. Now if you look at FMCG, यहाँ पे एक रिबाउंड देखने को मिल रहा है बॉटम से. इट हैज फॉर्म्ड समथिंग लाइक अ डबल बॉटम, बट स्टिल नॉट अ कंफर्म्ड वन, बिकॉज एक बार 200 डीए में रिक्लेम कर लेता है उसके बाद कंफर्म होगा कि ठीक है डबल बॉटम बना के अभी भागने को रेडी है. आज 1% चला ये इंडेक्स. 57,483 इसका 50 डीएम है. सो आज का क्लोजिंग इज समवेयर अराउंड 57,700 के अराउंड क्लोजिंग है. सो वी क्लोज्ड अबाउट द 50 डीएमए. So that is the first positive sign for the FMCG index. After October 7th, it is the first time that the index is closing above 50 DMA. तो आज का क्लोज अगर आप देखोगे तो 50 ये रेड लाइन के ऊपर ही आया है. So from here we might see that the FMCG might also do well, because देखो urban consumption is doing well, GST collection अच्छा, even rural consumption is picking up. So this year the monsoon was good, and even the few the crops is good, the price अच्छने वाला है, गवर्नमेंट का केपेक्स भी बढ़ेगा. देयर वाज अ ह्यूज सीजन, द फेस्टिव सीजन दैट वेंट इन द लास्ट क्वार्टर. सो वहां से भी एक डिमांड रिवाइवल देखने को मिला होगा. इतनी शादियां हुई है लास्ट फ्यू मंथ्स में, अभी भी एक दो महीने में है. सो एक ओवरऑल कंजम्पशन डिमांड, एफएमसीजी डिमांड, रूरल अर्बन दोनों साइड से रहेगा. सो दैट माइट help the stock. But I think this quarter result and the commentary and what the management is seeing in front of demand, yeah, that will be very important to watch out. So there are other sectors as well, but I think we have already 20 minutes in this webinar. So let's go to your questions. So in the group, we have Rajshekar as well as Vakar, my colleague. So we three will try to answer as many queries as possible. Please do not junk the box by repeating the same queries. It's a live session and we need to scroll back and check the queries. So please limit your queries to one or two, and don't post it multiple times. We'll try to answer as many as possible. So over to you, Vakar Raj.
Thanks, Rashid, for the introduction about the overall market, how it is placed. Now we'll move on to the stock-specific queries. We can start with Torrent Power and followed by other queries. So, as you can see here, the stock breached its key moving averages in the recent correction the market had gone through. And currently it is trading below its 200 DMA. It is still not reclaimed that level, but it is inching towards its 200 DMA, which is a good sign. It needs to reclaim 200 and 50 DMA as well to find the momentum on the positive side. And if you look at the ratings, price strength has come down because of the recent underperformance. The stock has taken a hit in the recent selling. So that is why RS line has come down and price strength declined to 47. EPS is around 60, which is considered to fair enough according to Warren's perspective. But we need to see how the December quarter numbers come out, and that might improve if the numbers the December quarter come out good. And apart from that, number of funds have been increasing, which is a positive sign. And we can wait for the stock to consolidate and reclaim its moving averages and form a base pattern. Then we can take a call whether to take fresh position or not. Currently, it is in a not tradable zone. And if you are waiting, if you are already holding it, you should have exited when it reached its 50 or 200 EMS. And now it is slightly on the positive side. The momentum is coming up. So you can wait for the stock to show its strength for 2 or 3 sessions. If it doesn't reclaim 200 EMA within a week, you can exit the positions. Next is Varak Engineering. It's a very good action today, especially if the stock has broken out from its cup with handle base pattern. The volume have also been very good. From price volume perspective, it's a very strong breakout. Formation of base has also been ideal. Only concern it's a slightly elongated base pattern. But if you look at the ratings, which is a key section, the ratings are not looking good. Uh, Fundamental ratings, EPS has not looking good, and price strength is also still on the lower side, but it is improving. But if you look at the other stocks in the market, there are ample of stocks which are looking good from owner's perspective, ratings and other parameters. You can look out for those stocks rather than taking a bet in this particular stock. Next is Hindustan Copper. Hindustan Copper, the momentum is on the negative side. You can see here it is continuously forming recent lows and continuously moving on the negative side. The moving averages are also showing a downward trajectory. That means that the overall momentum is on the negative side. That is why its price strength has completely come down to single digit, indicating a very poor performance from the price volume action perspective. EPS is fair enough at 92. That is because of quarterly earnings, especially recent 2 quarters earnings have been good, but the technicals are not looking good. And as they say, technicals are leading indicators. We might wait and watch how the December quarter results come out. And the stock also needs to improve from here to reclaim its moving averages and also form a base pattern. Until then, again, the stock is not in a good position to take fresh entries.
Thanks, Raj. Vakaria. I'll take some queries. Rishit, can you give me SBI card then, Anantraj? The stock is forming a consolidation base, but as you can see, overall ratings are not that good. And I mean, even on the right hand side, we've not seen much of the accumulation. Price strength at 24 is not that great. And stock has been struggling. Even fundamentally, as you can see, the stock is struggling for the last couple of quarters. So definitely, I mean, not an ideal stock to keep in the buy watch list, considering good, I mean, price volume action in the markets today. But the stock is still lagging behind. And if someone is holding the stock, I mean, today the stock did reclaim some key moving averages, but is still trading below the 200 DMA. I mean, a lot of price strength and price volume action needs to improve for the stock. Maybe, I mean, closer to the pivot where, I mean, a good uh, a good indication we might get. I mean, right now it's very difficult to say. Maybe the recent lows that it's formed around 660 levels is what one if someone is holding can keep as a stop loss. Fresh entry into the stock is definitely not advised. Next can be Anantraj. So the stock is, I mean, the price volume action is very, very good. As you can see, the stock has been in a rally phase for the last more than 1.5 years at this moment, delivering on all sides in terms of financials, in terms of numbers, in terms of price volume action. I mean, all ticks are there, but the only problem is that the stock is forming a stage four consolidation base, which is a late stage base. Someone holding on to the stock can keep holding because the price volume action is very strong. And even now, the stock is more than 9% above pivot. But keep the 21 DMA as your stop loss levels because, I mean, when at late stage basis, stocks, even with one odd quarter of, I mean, not up to the par results, can lead to a lot of correction. So keep 21 DMA as your stop loss levels. And fresh entry into the stock is definitely not advised at this moment since it's a late stage base. Probably for new entry, wait for the stage count to get reset. The next can be Maruti. So yes, I mean, initially what Tushar was speaking about as well, and auto stocks have been the leading stocks in today's market. I mean, if you look at Maruti, M&M, Eicher, all the stocks have been leading. Some have been breaking out as well. This is one of the stock, I mean, one of the leading stocks, but not have performed well for the last 1 year. I mean, demand concern is definitely there. Plus, the other companies in terms of M&M and Tata, which are probably coming in with newer models in terms of SUV, in terms of EVs, that is where uh, the Maruti is kind of losing its mojo in terms of losing its market share as well. But definitely, the quarter would be good to look out for in terms of the company. The company is able to deliver in terms of it is able to cater onto the slight revival in market demand in terms of the festive season, in terms of October, November, and December. Then definitely, if a positive surprise in result is there, maybe the fundamentals can improve going forward. But yes, technicals are still very much deteriorated, very much battered in terms of price strength at 27 and buyer demand at E. So clear cut avoid someone who probably, I mean, bought near the lows or is holding on to the stock at this moment. 200 DMA is your fresh resistance. If 200 DMA moves, I mean, the stock moves up the 200 DMA mark, then probably a fresh rally can get initiated. Maybe there is a possibility. I mean, now this since the stock has reclaimed 2150 on good volumes, maybe going forward it can find support there. But I mean, in terms of stop losses, I mean, partial stop losses can be or partial exits can be kept around. I mean, the 21 DMA levels because or the recent lows in terms of. Um, 10,770 or 10,800 is where the stock has found some kind of support.
Yeah. Okay, I'll take a few queries from here. So again, let's continue with the auto one. So we have broadly discussed about the positive sector outlook, but yeah, if you look at the technicals of Tata Motors, so there's a deep correction. It was almost 37, 38% from its high in just a matter of 4 to 5 months, right? So even today's session, it was not able to reclaim the 21 DMA. So give it some time. जो भी टेक्निकल डैमेज हुआ है देखो ये डैमेज बड़ा है टेक्निकल ओके सो give it some time to repair the damage at least wait till the 50 DMA if you are a trader. If you are investing for long term, then also that you should wait for 50 DMA. Some एक technical improvement बहुत जरूरी हो जाता है. And if you want to take it on a positional basis, let it form a base. So ideally at O'Neill, what we will look for is एक बेस बना दे और जनवरी में जो इसका रिजल्ट आया वो एक अच्छा रिजल्ट आया. सो दीज आर द टू थिंग्स which we would be watching out for, right? So if you are already holding the stock, then I think the recent lows maybe the good idea to have a stop loss with. Numbers अच्छा था इस बार का, but I think the result will be the more important to watch out. Okay, the next one we can see is SBI, State Bank of India. So here it is trading below all its key moving averages. So just wait for it to reclaim all the moving averages. So देखो अभी market is in a confirm uptrend from today. So that doesn't means you pick the stocks which are technically weak. The focus should be on stocks which are technically strong, जो अपने हाई की तरफ मूव कर रहे हैं. पिछले कुछ दिनों में मोमेंटम से बाय हो रही है. जब मार्केट गिर रहा था तो दे वर रेजिलियंट. ओके, लुक फॉर द स्टॉक that are having a decent RS rating, which were resilient in the market fall, or the market was falling, the volume was lower, and now when the market is recovering, they are moving higher on a huge volume. Okay, ऐसे stocks को pick करो. SBI, I'm not telling is not a good stock. It is a good stock, but wait for the technicals to improve. At least it reclaim all the three key moving averages. और जो ये उसका जोन है 870 टू 900 वाला जोन, इसमें ये हर बार रेजिस्टेंस लेता है. सो एक बार वो क्लियर कर जाए, ब्रेकआउट मिलता है, देन ओवरऑल इट्स अ गुड फंडामेंटल, इट्स गुड. ROE ऑफ 18%, फंड होल्डिंग बहुत ज़्यादा है इसमें, EPS स्ट्रेंथ भी अच्छा है. बट what we are looking for over here in SBI is the technical improvement. Okay, so next what we can look at is IRFC. मूविंग साइडवेज इन अ टाइट जोन. अभी अगर हम देखें तो इसने सितंबर में 200 DMA को ब्रीच किया, एंड सिंस देन इट हैज अटेम्प्टेड couple of times but it failed to reclaim the 200 DMA. एक आध दिन इंट्राडे के लिए किया था बट ब्रॉडली इट फेल्ड. नीचे की साइड भी कैप्ड है 130-35 पे, एक अच्छा सपोर्ट मिल रहा है. सो करंटली इट इज कंसोलिडेटिंग एट अ लोअर लेवल आफ्टर अ फॉल. ओके, सो मोस्ट इम्पोर्टेंट ओवर हियर इज कि 200 DMA के ऊपर एक या दो दिन ये टिका रहे, बना जाए on a higher volume. So this word is important. Okay, the higher volume above 200-day moving average, that is what important for the stock. But if you are already holding it, then you have some 137 132 level you might keep at a stop loss. या फिर 7 to 8% follow the rules. बहुत ज्यादा कैपिटल इरोड मत होने दो, क्योंकि ऐसे मार्केट में और जगह पे अपॉर्चुनिटीज मिलेगी. जैसे फार्मा में ब्रेकआउट्स हो रहे हैं, सम ऑफ द the infra related stocks are doing well, the pharma is doing well. So जहाँ पे अच्छा momentum मिल रहा है, you should capture it there rather than going for stocks which are technically weak.
Thanks, Rishit. I'll take few queries now. We can start with ITD cementation. Mr. Prabhu is asking that he's already taken a position and he's at a loss of 7%. So whether to exit or hold. Recently, the stock has been trading in a very narrow range. You can say price action is very muted and the volume action has also been muted. Last two sessions or a couple of sessions back, volume picked up, but price in terms of price action, it is still not picking up the momentum. On the downside as well, there is not much selling pressure. So you can continue to hold currently, and 50 DMA is slightly 2 to 3% from here. So you can wait for that 50 DMA breach. If it breached on higher volumes, you could exit. Currently, the market momentum is on the positive side with the today's action. So we might see similar action in this stock as well. Otherwise, if it breaches its 50 DMA, you can exit stock. Yes, you can see here it is 2.5% from current market price. So if that level is breached, you can exit this stock. Next, we can look into is Wari Engine Energies. They recently listed company, and it is forming a consolidation base pattern as we speak. It is trading in that base pattern, but the depth wise it is very long, you could say, and it is still 24% to the pivot, so it's a very long way to go from here. And as it is a recently listed stock, we are not look for the 50 DMA or 200 DMAs are yet to be formed, so there is not much to discuss around the moving average. But if you look at the other parameters, RS rating is okay-ish, you can say, and EPS is on the lower side, majorly because in the last 2 quarters the sales have come down for the company. That is why the EPS has taken a hit, and as it is still trading 24% below the pivot, by the time it improves from here, RS line will also trend higher and RS strength will improve, and you can take a call, but now it is not a good position or good time to take a fresh position. Next is Dr. Lal Pathlops. Stock is holding its 200 DMA. Recently, many of the stocks from broader markets have breached their moving 200 DMAs, but this stock has held that position, which is a positive sign. But it is trading in a very narrow range, around the 3000 level. It has been oscillating for the last uh, 2 to 3 months of period. On the upside, 50 DMA is acting as a resistance. You can see here that red line has taken a resistance a couple of times. So that level needs to be reclaimed on higher volumes to find the positive momentum. Until then, we might see this consolidated or stock trading in a very narrow range. Apart from that, if you look at the rating section, EPS is very good at 72. The company is able to generate double-digit growth in terms of sales and profits. Price strength has taken a slightly hit because of recent underperformance or not so much action on the price action front. So overall, the that is the position of the stock currently. So there is no base formation, which we ideally look for, and there is not much action on the price action as well. So that needs to be improved from here to take efficiently. On the downside, if you're already holding it, 200 DMA can be kept as stop loss level.
Thanks, Raj. I'll take some queries from. Uh, can you give me Angel one? Thank you. The stock is forming a cup with handle base, but it's a very wide and loose base at this moment. And the first breakout was not that successful. As you can see, the stock came below its 50 DMA as well. So once the stock was very liked among, the institutional investors, and currently you can see in the last couple of quarters, the fund holding is declining. So which is definitely not a good sign. And that is one of the key criteria that we look at, and the stock is around 12% below pivot. So definitely, not advised fresh entry at this moment, and even the result is due within 11 days. So it's good to watch out with the result in terms of how the company is performing, and whether once the results are out and if it's a good result, and if the fund holding starts to come back, then definitely can have a look at the stock, but till the point in time can definitely avoid. Someone probably, if you bought at the breakout, should have exited, because the stock is more than 12% to below pivot at this moment. and the stock is finding support near its recent lows. So if those recent lows gets breached, definitely can exit if someone is still holding on to the stock. The next that we can consider is just a second. Walchand Nagar Industries. Thank you. So, in terms of market cap, the market cap is pretty small, and in terms of fundamentals as well, the fundamentals are not that great in terms of very abrupt fundamentals. If you look at the last 4 quarter results, it's not been that great for the stocks. Technicals still on the fairer side, but I mean, you need to have fundamentals and technicals both running simultaneously for you, and that is the only thing that is not in working in tandem for me, and that is why with that sense, if the fundamentals were in place, maybe could have uh, had a look at the stock, but since the fundamentals are not there in order, definitely can be an avoid from a side. And in terms of I mean, the manufacturing space, in terms of for the precision products, there are other stocks in terms of the competitors for this company that are doing pretty well at this moment. Look is Netweb, then Blue Star, or Netweb, then Precision Wire. So the stock is doing pretty well. I mean, in terms of, I mean, holding on in terms of near the highs, but as you can see, the stock has seen some kind of volume, I mean, price volume deterioration. That is why buyer demand has come down to C plus. But I mean, the stock is trying to reclaim back its pivot in terms of fund holding. The stock is doing well. Fundamentals, the stock is doing well for the last 4 5 quarters. ROE at 18% is also very good. I mean, I mean, the sector that it is there in terms of enterprise servers, data center, that has been in, I mean, in flavor in terms of lot of tailwinds are there, not just Indian tailwinds, but global tailwinds as well. So that is why the stock has done pretty well in the last one year and a half. It's been consolidating in the last couple of months, and I mean, if the stock is able to reclaim its pivot with some kind of good positive price volume action, definitely can be a good stock to keep in your watch list. The next we can look at is Precision Wire. Again, fundamentally a very strong stock. Uh, as you can see, the stock is very close to pivot at this moment. And the good thing that if you look at when the stock it's still 21% off highs, but if you look at the stock falling from the highs, the volumes have completely evaporated. That is a good sign. That is the strong hands or the institutional hands are still there with the stock, and fund holding is slightly less because I mean the overall in terms of market capitalization for the stock is slightly on the lower side, around 3,000 crores, and that has been, I mean, a constraint for certain bigger size funds. But the stock has tried to form a base and is trying to reclaim certain key moving averages in a couple of days with the markets trending higher. If the stock shows upward movement, but what is probably lacking in the last few days is the volumes. So even when the stock has to move higher, it has to move higher with higher volume. So that is the only thing that is lacking. Maybe if that comes back, I mean, definitely a good stock to watch out for if it remains in the ideal buy zone of 0 to 5%. Rishit, you can take over.
Okay, so there is one question on Hoodco. This was a big winner last year. If you see till June, July, the stock did really well. And since then, it corrected almost 35-40% from the high of 353. And now it is again trying to form a bottom. बट 200 डीएमए के अराउंड फिर से स्ट्रगल हो रहा है. सो आई थिंक इन टुडेज सेशन वी सो मैनी स्टॉक्स जो अपने हाई से 25-30% नीचे है, एंड नाउ दे आर नॉट एबल टू रिक्लेम द की मूविंग एवरेजेस, स्पेशली 200 डीएमए और द 50 डीएमए. सो दैट इज इंपॉर्टेंट टू वॉच आउट that why they are not able to reclaim that level, and जब तक वो उसके ऊपर ट्रेड नहीं करते you should be very careful. Here it traded few days above it, but again there it faced the selling pressure और नीचे आ गया. But the good part is that overall अगर यहाँ पे देखें तो इसका accumulation अच्छा हुआ है, right, when it was moving higher, and since last 4-5 months when it was moving lower the volume has dropped. So this is positive for stock, and even since last three sessions, when it is moving higher, the volume has started to pick up. So once now it moves above the 200 DMA, और स्पेशली अभी जो 262 से जहाँ से घूमा था, एक बार उसके ऊपर चला जाता है on a higher volume the things, then we might see some good momentum and it might try to attempt a fresh higher gain. Overall, the results have been very good. If you can see last few quarters, the EPS as well as the revenue growth, the ratings are superb. The buyer demand is still A plus. This is what I like about this. And so yeah, if you are holding the stock, then use 50 DMA as stop loss, which is around 225.26. If you want to fresh buy, wait for at least 4-5% of big move from here. Okay, so now let's go to the next one, and that is IRCTC. Yeah. So yeah, the stock is again down 30% from the high. So this is what it has been story for many, stocks, that they are down almost 25, 30, 35% from the highs. A good quality stocks. This is one of them. Monopoly business, decent earnings as well as the revenue growth. But अभी सारे moving averages के नीचे हैं, and at O'Neill we are not someone who will look for the bottom fishing. So I will avoid this as of now. एक बार 50 DMA के ऊपर एक पूरा ट्रेंड लाइन देखो यहाँ पे इसने बना दिया है. इफ यू कैन सी ओवर हियर, पूरा ये डाउन ट्रेंड में ऐसे चल रहा है. सो एक बार, सॉरी, एक बार ट्रेंड रिवर्सल आएगा ना, okay, then you should watch for this one. Let it reverse the trend. एक बार 50 DMA के ऊपर आ जाए, एक बार ये इसके पहले का जो ये स्विंग हाई बना था उसके ऊपर आ, that is when you should go for it for the trading purpose. Otherwise from O'Neill point of view, we will wait for a base formation. एक बार ये 200 DMA के ऊपर आता है और बेस बनाता है यहाँ पे कहीं पे, that is where we will watch out for this stock. If you're already holding the stock, then the recent low is the best stop loss you should use. Fresh entry for trading purpose, you might watch out for the 50 DMA or this line. क्यों कौन सा लेवल आ रहा है वो एक बार ट्रेंड लाइन से खींच के देख लेना पड़ेगा. Okay, so yeah, overall the business is good. No two ways about that for the IRCTC. अभी कुछ glitches आए थे 2-3 बार. That's what came out of the news. So once they upgrade more on bit of tech side and efficiency बढ़ जाती है, then I think they will start doing really well. Let me take one more stock, Can Bank. Yeah, this has been consolidating. एक डबल बॉटम यहाँ पे बना था अराउंड 92. ठीक है, 2 बार 92 से rebound हुआ था, and then it went well until the 200 DMA, but again it found resistance at 200 DMA. Now consolidating just below the 50 DMA. So एक बार ये key moving averages के ऊपर आ जाता है, that is when you should watch out for this one. Otherwise it's fundamentally good stock. If you see the EPS growth is good, the sales growth is good, इसका asset quality काफी अच्छा है, return on equity is of 19%, funds have increasing stake, ईपीएस सॉलिड, बायर डिमांड भी मिल रहा है, प्राइस स्ट्रेंथ खराब है. यहाँ पे अगर इंप्रूवमेंट आ जाती है प्राइस स्ट्रेंथ पे, मूविंग एवरेजेस ऊपर आ जाता है, दैट इज व्हेन यू शुड वॉच आउट फॉर दिस वन. इफ यू आर ऑलरेडी होल्डिंग द स्टॉक, देन अभी 98 99 पे अच्छा सपोर्ट मिला है इसको दिसंबर में, तो उसके नीचे नहीं जाना चाहिए. आई थिंक दिसंबर लो यू कैन यूज इट एज अ स्टॉप लॉस. अदरवाइज यहाँ पे ये जो पूरा स्ट्रक्चर बना रहा है लाइक अ बिट ऑफ हेड एंड शोल्डर टाइप, लेट इट कंप्लीट मूविंग एवरेज के ऊपर आने दो. और ये यहाँ पे भी जो ये पूरा ट्रेंड लाइन बना है ना, अभी ये डाउन ट्रेंड है. सो ट्रेंड इज योर फ्रेंड. तो अभी ये पूरा डाउन ट्रेंड चल रहा है, तो एक बार ये ट्रेंड रिवर्स हो जाता है, विच माइट बी समवेयर अराउंड हियर 110 के अराउंड. जब ये रिवर्स होता है, दैट इज व्हेन यू शुड वॉच आउट फॉर दिस, बिकॉज ये फंडामेंटली अच्छे स्टॉक है. ओके, सो जब भी इसमें मौका मिले, यू शुड ट्राई टू टेक इट.
You can, there are few YouTube queries as well.
Sure, Raj.
PVR. Stock is forming a very long cup with handle base formation of length more than an year, which is not so ideal base formation in terms of the length wise. It's not ideal. And currently it is trading in the handle portion, which is also very elongated. It breached its key moving averages. It is taking a long, very big hit in terms of price volume action. It is the momentum is clearly on the negative side. Ratings have also been very poor. If you look at EPS, almost at the lowest level. Price strength and buyer demand have also been belonging to the lowest category. Can see here clearly the company is not able to come out with the positive bottom line, that is profits. It is continuously reporting losses. Sales wise also there is not much growth, so that is a major hit for the company. There is lots of uh, room for the company to improve. Until then, it's not advised to take fresh entries. The ratings needs to be improved, and the price volume action also needs to be improved from here. Next is NTPC. Very good stock in the recent times. In the last 1 year, it has given very good returns for the investors. But for starting from October, the trend has reversed and it is on the negative side, and it breached its moving averages as well in the process. Currently, it is almost bottomed out and it is trying to move on the positive side. It is waiting for the momentum to come into uh, to take it forward. If you look at the ratings, have been not so good, especially the technicals have been taken a big hit. Price strength has come down to 21. Buyer demand is lowest at E category. So overall, the ratings have been on the negative, or on the not so good zone because of stocks underperformance. And stock needs to be improved from here, and it needs to show its strength by forming a base pattern here and reclaim its moving averages as well. Next, we can to look into is Karur Vysya Bank. It is holding its 200 DMA. That is clearly visible here. Couple of times, once in September and recently as well. 200 DMA have been tested and successfully it found good support at 200 DMA. So going forward as well, 200 DMA is going to be a very crucial level to watch out on the negative side. And if you look at the positives, the stock is holding, and the recent sell-off has happened on lower volumes, which is a very good sign. It needs to reclaim its short-term moving averages as well. And recently it formed a base pattern, but that won't will be effective because of more than a very long period. It broke out and it found selling pressure. So the recent base won't be effective currently. It needs to form a base pattern here. But if you look at the other parameters, starting with EPS of 95, exceptionally good on the fundamental front. The company has been able to generate sales. The bank is able to generate sales as well as profits in double digit consistently. Price strength is also fair enough at more than 60. Buyer demand is also good at A minus. So overall, most of the ratings are looking good. On the price volume action front also, it is looking very good. And only concern is it's need to reclaim recent short-term moving averages as well. And we can wait for the stock to form another base pattern from here as well to see how it is going to trade.
Thanks, Raj. I'll take some queries from you. Rishit, can you give me clean science? Thank you. So the stock is trying to show some kind of accumulation on the right hand side of the base, but I mean, it is, I mean, the recent highs in terms of, not even the recent highs, in terms of the post IPO highs that it had created, and it is not able to reclaim it back, I mean, for a very, very long time. And last couple of quarter results have been good. Fund holding has started to come back, but in terms of the kind of numbers it used to generate in the past, in terms of that's still not there. But we are hoping that I mean the chemical cycle will revive. It is a pure play on the substitution from the China plus one demand, and that is, I mean, that trend is expected to remain there. I mean, and with its unique process in terms of manufacturing, it is a standout player. I mean, but still numbers have to come. Numbers are not there. I mean, still there for the last couple of quarters. Before there, the stock was struggling in terms of fundamentals. So let's wait in terms of I mean the stock coming towards the pivot. It's still 10% to pivot. So the thing is, I mean, if the stock moves higher on good volumes, and it moves quickly or better than the markets, then definitely the price strength will improve. Till the point in time, probably the stock does not reclaim its pivot. I mean, fresh entry is not advised. Someone who probably bought it, I mean, maybe near the lows, or maybe, I mean, somewhere in the previous breakout, then can keep, I mean, the clustered area, which is, I mean, somewhere close to the 200 DMA at this moment, can keep the 200 DMA, or if slightly higher risk taking ability is there, then I mean, but still can keep 200 DMA as your stop loss level if someone has all, or the exit level if someone is already entered into the stock. Fresh entry at this moment is not advised. Next, we can take it is Time Technoplast, then Tata Steel. The stock is doing pretty well in terms of price volume action, in terms of EPS strength. I mean, Rushit, can you show me the stage count? So even the stage count is not that late and is ideally there in the buy zone. So definitely a very good stock to watch out for in terms of all boxes ticking, fund holding, in terms of ratings, in terms of fundamentals, in terms of price volume action. Everything is there. I mean, there was a breakout on above average volumes as well, and the stock is ideally there in the buy zone. So, I mean, if your advisor suggests, or if your own research suggests, I mean, from our side, can definitely keep the stock in your watch list. I mean, definitely ticks all the boxes at this moment. The next can be Tata Steel. Thank you. So metals have in the last couple of quarters have lost their shine, and that is pretty evident in the leading stocks. One of the leading stocks, such as Tata Steel, as well. The stock is more than 25% off highs, kind of trading near the lows, cup, tried to form a bottom couple of times, but since we are not, I mean, bottom pickers, so we will not be, I mean, much intrigued with the stock at this stage, since the fund holding is also decreasing. We'll wait for the stock to probably form another base. I mean, fundamentals to improve in the coming quarters, and even the fund holding to increase. So at this moment, is definitely an avoid from us. Fresh entry is definitely not advised, and stock is probably making lower lows at this moment. So someone who's holding on to the stock, if another low or the recent low gets weak, can definitely exit if someone is holding on to this.
Thank you, Vakar. Thank you, Rajshekhar, for your input. So that's it for today's session, guys. We are running out of time. I hope you got a good idea about the market condition at the start, how the sectors are doing, and most of your stock queries might have resolved. And it was a helpful session to every one of you. if you have any queries or we missed to answer something and you wanted to get it answered, you can always email us the query and we'll try to answer it as soon as possible. And so as this was the live session, we tried our best to, get through your queries and explain you about the market. So thank you very much for joining the session. So tomorrow you can join us in the morning at 8:45 and the pre-bell. So Rajshekhar will be taking it and we will be getting all the ideas about how the global markets performed the last night and how we are ready for a start. So our support team has mentioned the email address, that's support@marketsmithindia.com. So if you have any queries regarding the session or the stocks, you can always email us. Thank you very much. Have a great day.